Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with a trending mountain bike products of the month for
March
2023. We haven't done these in a little while because we were busy doing other stuff. Like, what were you doing?
Well, for instance, we're recording an MTB podcast every 2 weeks now.
That is true.
Which is pretty cool. And gosh, we went to Sedona for the mountain bike festival.
Yep, we did do that.
And we're recording other videos. We just recorded the 2022 best of. That was,
the 2022 best mountain bike parts of the whole year. That was a massive analysis we did on everything we sold, over 300,000 products, I think, in 2022. So check that out if you're curious. These series are now going to also include the worst purchase we've personally made as well in the month. So let's get into it.
All right. Our very first product today is the newly redesigned Maxxis Forekaster tire.
Which looks nothing like the last Maxxis Forekaster, so I'm not quite sure why they recycled the name, because the tread pattern's significantly different and significantly better. I wasn't really a fan of the last Forekaster. To be honest, it was one of those tires that I thought, wow, doesn't seem like Maxxis worthy of a tire. And now,
not really your style.
Really. Yeah, that tire wasn't really my style. No. Yeah. But this new Forekaster, back to goodness.
Absolutely.
As to be expected.
Yeah, Liam has been running this on his Yeti SB120 lately, and he's pretty fond of it. It's pretty fast rolling, and it's not super light, but lighter than other tires out there.
It's an interesting bridge. There's obviously a million Maxxis tires, and it's really hard to figure out which ones are good. We have a ton of videos on that if you're curious. This thing is, where is this slotting in the line? Somewhere like
a light trail bike.
But the dissector. It's like somewhere in between the dissector and a DHR2.
Yeah.
Like right in there?
Yeah.
Right in there?
Yeah. You know, it would really take a lot to dissect the differences. And I'm not one to really forecast the results.
Oh my God.
The next product we have today is the SRAM XX1 Chain, in particular the rainbow finish.
The Access 12-speed rainbow finish.
Oh yeah.
It's pricey, but it's SRAM's nicest chain, and boy does it look nice.
Looks really nice. They also have gold, copper, and black.
Yeah, and they're all cross-compatible, so basically any SRAM 12-speed drivetrain works with all the SRAM 12-speed chains, no matter what color you want.
That's right.
I've got a brawn ones on my recent new bike that looks pretty mint.
Ooh, you do?
On the Banshee.
I've seen it. Mm-hmm. And I have... I have a rainbow chain. I have this. Yeah.
It's not a lie, if you believe it.
That sounded like a lie, but I think it's because you didn't remember, and then you remembered.
I do, yeah.
No, so many bikes at so many different times. How can you possibly remember what chain is on which bike?
That's kind of like the pot calling the kettle black right there, isn't it?
I guess that is true. But more importantly, if you've got a GX drivetrain, you can put an XX1 rainbow chain on it. Makes your bike look exceptionally more expensive than the rest of your drivetrain was. And third, but not second or first,
that's right,
tubeless valves. So we've got a couple interesting things that we're going to go over with tubeless valves. I think this will be actually fairly educational. Trail One, which is a component brand that we are a co-owner of. This is the version 2 of the tubeless valve, and it's got some good revisions to it that myself, Liam, and the engineer Colm O'Kane over there worked on. Notably, it's got a valve core remover built right into each cap, which looks really nice and flush. Good high flow valve in there, compatible with inserts. I love those things. They're only $23 as of now, and $1 goes to a trail network, which is pretty awesome. The whole brand gives back to trail networks. And quasi-tied in this same relevant category of tubeless valves is the Reserve Fillmore. So these things were introduced and they popped off like crazy in popularity. Their claim is 3 times more airflow compared to other valves, which I do believe is true.
Prove it. Just kidding.
Replaces century-old design. Okay. It's a little different. There's some interesting pros and cons of these versus something slightly more traditional. So, Fillmore, more airflow, absolutely.
Yep.
Didn't you just beat a tubeless tire with a hand pump using these?
I did. The floor pump.
The floor pump,
yes.
Okay.
Hand pump would be extremely impressive.
Yeah. So if you've ever had problems beating a tubeless tire, you got to get a lot of air into that valve, and that's where these just work amazing. And on a regular valve, sometimes, which I haven't had this experience in a while because most modern tubeless tires have kind of solved this, but what you would do is you would actually take out the valve core, then you'd use a pointer nozzle on your air compressor and you'd blast that in there to get the bead going. You'd put your finger over it, then you'd put your valve core back in, and you're pretty much good to go. That eliminates this problem. However, the one downside to these things, aside from them being more than double the cost of most good tubeless valves that are traditional, is they still clog. They still clog. They clog like any other normal valve, and when they clog, you kind of got to disassemble the whole thing, which includes removing your tire. Whereas when this valve clogs, you've got a valve core remover built into the cap. You can use it to take the valve core out, clean it up with your fingers and a little pick or toothbrush, whatever you like, and put it back in and fill the tire back up, and you don't have to take the tire off, which is very convenient. And they're pretty much always going to clog because what if we come to the conclusion?
Where there's a hole and you have sealant, it will plug it.
Sealant is engineered specifically to plug holes, and yeah, wherever there's a hole, no matter what valve it is, it's going to get clogged with sealant. Normal valves, much easier to maintain and clean, albeit slightly less airflow than these Fillmore valves.
Pros and cons.
That was a lot of information about tubeless valves. I don't know.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Our number 4 product we have for you today is the Ergon SM Pro saddle with the titanium rails in particular.
Wow.
Fancy.
It does have what is referred to internally as the taint trench.
Yes. For your taint.
That might be slightly inappropriate, but it could pass.
The taint trench that leads to the fart hole.
Ergon has been in the top 5 of our best-selling saddles for literally the history of worldwide cyclery. It's a German brand. We have a whole video all about saddle fitment and every tiny little microscopic detail you need to consider when buying a saddle. Also in relation to you, your sit bones, how often you ride, the type of bike you ride, etc. So check that video out if you're curious. This saddle was in that video. It's kind of been, man, the SM Pros have been all over the place in top-selling saddles and the various different versions of it for many years, and will probably remain there because they're just good saddles. You're a big Ergon saddle fan, right?
Yep, this is the one I do enjoy.
Yeah. I personally I'm just not that picky on saddles.
Yeah.
You know?
You've got a butt of iron.
Butt of iron. But if you do have problems, then you should dig into a little bit more what saddle works best for you. And Ergon is a brand to look at because they've been in the mountain bike industry as a top-selling saddle brand for years.
And in our number 5 spot today, we've got the TRP DHR Evo. And I really wish I knew what every single one of those letters stood for. TRP, Tektro Racing Products. DHR, Downhill Race. Evo. Evolution. Yeah, okay, we figured it out.
I believe those were the brakes that were sort of co-developed with famed downhill racer Aaron Gwin when he was racing for TRP brakes. Does he still? I can't keep track of all these pro racers.
Yeah, who sponsors this year, that year.
Currently sponsored by.
Yeah.
But that brake was released. It's been popular for a really long time, and it's still a top-selling brake. So if you're curious to hop on some brakes that aren't SRAM or Shimano, TRP is definitely something to look at. So is Magura. Magura actually popped up all over the place in our 2022 Best of the Year mountain bike products, which is cool. But this month, TRP is taking the cake with the top-selling brake.
That's right, and they're also available in 3 colors: black,
that is cool,
silver, and it's like a gold, like a Kashima.
It's like a gold Kashima-ish.
It's Kashima-ish.
Basically Kashima-ish, but technically not Kashima.
Same, but different. But still same.
Because that's probably not allowed.
Trademark or something.
Yes.
Least but not last.
Least but not last, we have got a KETL product I am very excited about, the Vent Shorts, available in a 7-inch
and 9-inch.
9-inch
inseam.
And wouldn't you know that you just look great wearing these things.
We own the apparel brand KETL Mountain. We make a bunch of mountain bike specific pieces as well as sort of casual wear and hiking travel pieces. We've had these Vent pants, which are these ultra lightweight, super breathable mesh pants. We've turned them into shorts because it was just a natural progression. And yeah, that's our subtle plug at the end of this video. If you're looking for some really good, awesome, comfortable shorts that have a lifetime repair and replace program, meaning we want this to last a lifetime, and if you rip a hole in these because you farted so big, we will repair it for free, literally. Check them out, link below. It's also, you can just Google KETL if you're curious about checking those things out. And now, yeah, that actually wasn't least but not last. This is least but not last.
That's
My
right.
worst purchase of the month of March is this U-Green USB-C to USB-A 4-port adapter that I bought on Amazon. That doesn't work. Not only that, this might look like it's metal to you, but no, that's plastic.
Gosh.
Which, you know, someone might have assumed that from the $12 price point. But it's just one of those things that was such a bad purchase that it's so cheap. Like, am I gonna really return this?
This grinds your gears.
It's like, it's too cheap to return. What do I do? Ugh.
They'll probably just give you the credit for free if you don't return it.
I know. Well, that's my worst purchase.
That's the
if
worst
you've
purchase.
watched this far in this video, thank you very much. We appreciate it. We would also really appreciate it if you would share our channel and any of our mountain bike content, including our podcast, which people seem to be loving these days, and we're recording much more frequently. Share it with your mountain bike friends. It'd mean the world to us.
Yeah, smash that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next one.